Hello, y'all. It is your girl, Nakia Bella, and you're watching Feel Intellectual, sounding like a Disney Channel person. And today we are going to talk about Mr. Myron and his lovers and his enablers. Now, if you're on the internet, then you probably seen about the situation that I'm about to talk about right now with the girl with the blonde braids and, Fresh and Fit podcast. Nothing new, same internet shit every single day. Now, what I'm planning to do, how I'm going to edit this is I did watch like the full entire video of where and how like the fight started. Um, but of course, my initial video was when they were already standing up. I will say she did not stand up to fight him. That is not why they were standing. He had been fed up with how she was talking, and he was just like, "You're fat and you're this," and she stood up and she was like, "Oh, I'm fat," and then he ended up standing up like she was some sort of threat or something. But what I don't understand, I mean, I know with these I don't know if y'all hear all this noise, but I have the window open because it's hot. So yeah, she stood up, all that. He could have been kicked her off, but I know with these platforms, you want to get as much content as possible, and then finally, once you've had enough, you'll kick the person off of your whatever. So, but before we get started, please check me out on Blue Sky. It is made by one of the old employees from Twitter. It is way better than Twitter. It is not an echo chamber, which a lot of people like to say because they like to stay on that toxic ass place that is called X. Blue Sky is not a liberal network, although there is more liberals on there. There still are conversations that are being had and disagreements. So yeah, I'm gonna put my stuff up. Yeah, give me a follow. And if you want to have conversations, have conversations. Don't bring the bullshit over there. We don't accept racist things. We don't accept Nazis. We don't accept a lot of the bigoted things. If you want to have a conversation, and come follow me over at Blue Sky at Nakia Bella. Thank you. Now, back to the discussion at hand. Real quick, as a person who has a father that owns a Camaro ZL1, I love the loud cars. But when it comes to just everyday life, when people are, during the weekday and it's still daytime and it's sun outside, like, shut up. Please shut your fucking car up. Anyways, because I was just back to back. Like, nobody cares. Shut up. Anyways, so back to the situation at hand. What I will say about this certain situation with this podcast, the girl has never seen any of the Fresh and Fit podcast, anything like no extended clips of the podcast, no nothing. Me personally, I have seen clips and people are like, oh, you can't go by the clips, but I've seen my creators that I'm interested in even go on the podcast. I've listened to these. Everyone sounds fucking dumb. Let's just cut to the chase. Everyone sounds dumb most of the time. The girls that are on there have no spines, they have no backbones. And I feel like this is why the girl that went viral off of this situation got what she got, on top of a multitude of other things, but we're going to go through that. And also, the clips that I will show, I'm not trying to clip anything out of context. You can go look at the full thing by yourself on their channel if you want to give them that view. But if I make it seem like I'm clipping things out of context, then whatever, by all means, feel how you feel. But you have fingers, you have eyes, you have toes, you have everything to go and look at it for your damn self. So don't blame me for anything that I may be misconstruing. This is how I feel, this is how I see it, and this is my interpretation about the situation. Now, straight off the bat, you grown ass man. Now, their initial confrontation when they were still at the tables, I understand, like, okay, going back and forth, like, okay, fuck you too. Whatever, cool. But he definitely did drop the N-word with the ER, and that makes me just want to completely take away his black side entirely. Because at face value, he looks like an Arabian man. Like he said, he's an Arabian and a black man. This is just an Arabian man. He's just full Arabian and full racist as fuck. I don't care. I really don't care about that man. Now, where I disagree with the whole thing is when she's already walking to the elevators, and yeah, of course, maybe she's saying whatever she wants to say, but it's him following and still talking shit and still talking about her, still doing this. Like, you're mad. You're really, really mad. If it's my podcast and someone's talking and talking and talking, get them out of here. Get them out of here. Once they're already walking to the elevators and we got that situated, then boom, get them out of here. I don't even know why. You're a grown ass man. On top of Myron saying whatever he was saying, the guy in the back, Chris, that handles, I guess, the the microphones and the whatever else he handles back there during the podcast, kept talking shit in the back. And even Myron was telling him like, hey, be quiet. You're not here. You're not front and center. If you want to be front and center in this podcast, then you come out and show your fucking face. And I'm glad they have cameras back there so they can show his bitch ass. I don't play with none of that. I'm a woman that can talk to men, and I have talked to men, and I've had debates with men. I've done it. Trust me, I've been there. I'm no virgin to that shit. But you not about to sit here in the back of the shit talking shit to me. If you got something to say, you come on this platform in this seat around this table and say what you have to say with these microphones. But I see you're not up here, are you? You're in the back doing production. Keep it that way. And that's why Myron told him to shut his bitch ass up. And I hope I have a clip for that. And
But it's okay. There's many more.
Not really, because
Okay,
Chris.
No problem.
so yeah, that aside, once it got to the elevators and she was at the elevators, Myron should have left her alone and let her go and talk her shit. Now, let me see my notes, make sure I'm not. Now, the girl, all that clipping I did, and I didn't get her name, blonde braids, she said she's an empath, she's very spiritual, she already felt the energy, even without watching the podcast or listening to the podcast, she already felt the energy that this podcast was going to come with. There's a blonde girl on the podcast, and then there's a black-haired white girl on the podcast that apparently is in the military, and of course she's a Republican. Now, what I analyzed, when you go on these sort of podcasts where they already have a certain view about Black women, I'm not saying that you should coddle to them and try your hardest not to perpetuate the stereotype, but you have to be smart about what you say and how you say it on these types of podcasts. Now, the two other Black girls, the light-skinned girl with the big forehead and the other girl, spineless individuals. I'm not going to say they're the worst people in the world, because I understand in that type of environment, maybe you just really are that reserved and all that. But I feel like if you're going to go on a podcast like Fresh and Fit and speak out, you know what, I will give the other girl with the forehead I'll give her some credit, because when it came to Myron and the other dude, don't even know his name, that put the MAGA hat on, when it came to Myron and the other dude, talking about, oh, this is why Black women have the lowest rates on dating sites, and this is why a lot of people don't like Black women, and this is why there's the stereotype, and it's our responsibility to not be a statistic. She did say, like, I feel like that's a very unfortunate view for y'all to have. She was saying, like, everyone has their own life stuff, and I appreciate her for that. But on top of everything else, spineless. Everything else, just spineless activity. Don't care for that. And yeah, no, don't care for that. I feel like it should have been more pushback for that. But that's their audience. That's what they like, right? Their audience, their content lets white people and other people of color get away with their racism because it's justified by this one Black dude. Well, of course, a couple others that are the audience. This Black dude and this Arabian dude. They feel justified in how they feel about Black women and how they feel about Black people in general. And these people don't care. Now, let these two, Myron and the other dude, go out in public for someone that don't even know who they are, and they get treated like a stat. Is it still your responsibility? You did everything you were supposed to do, right? You acted like you were supposed to, right? You made the status quo. You did the societal standards of how you're supposed to act, right? But you will still get treated like what? What you look like. Arabian nigga's going to get a treat like a terrorist if he looks like it one day. He probably already does get called a terrorist. Black dude is going to get treated like a what? A what? It doesn't matter. Some states in America are more racist than others. So, of course, you're going to get treated differently depending on what state you're in. More of the Republican states, you will get treated in a more racist. And even where I'm in Maryland. There are certain parts of Maryland that are more racist than other parts of Maryland. You will get treated differently depending on where you are. Point being is, it doesn't matter what you do. Even if you play the game of not being a statistic, you're going to get treated how they want to treat you. All in all, though, I still think those girls are very spineless. Very spineless. I don't blame them, again, but don't agree with it. I'm not going to say that I wouldn't be quiet at first, because I do like to scope the scenery out before I say what I have to say. But, I mean, the podcast got cut short anyway, so I might as well just talk my shit, right? So, yeah, that whole the whole thing was just very messy, and I feel like nobody. Now, when it comes to blonde braids, I will say I feel like she handled the topic so poorly, and I understood where she was coming from as far as I don't have to explain myself, things like that. The people will see. And yes, the people who want to see will see. Because I saw, but how it was handled was done so poorly. But she's getting support, so that's good. People understood where people have been talking shit about Fresh and Fit for a very long time. Anyways, so the people who are not a part of their fan base, they understand. That's good. So now I'm just here saying what she did wrong. Um, Now, what I always say, if you make a claim, you have to be prepared to back that claim. These girls, the black-haired girl, she is racist. And I'm not just saying that because she's a Republican, but you are sitting with the likes of these people. And this is not her first time on the podcast. The black-haired girl, she's pretty much a part of the team. I've seen her more than once. I do listen to Watch Destiny sometimes, and he was on Fresh and Fit podcast before. She was on, I don't know if he was on it twice or three times, or maybe, I just know that the military girl, there we go, the military girl has been on their podcast quite a few times, if I am not mistaken. I've definitely seen her, and her takes are just very male leaning, and not to say it in a, oh, because she's a woman she has to take this, it's not even that. It's just very dick sucking activity. There is very activity, like. And then when it came to blonde braids talking about how she already felt the energy when she came into the place, it's like the military girl wanted to talk about, oh, you don't know anything about physics or something like that, and the black girl was like, you don't know shit about physics. Like, what are we talking about physics for? I feel like the people who are not spiritually aligned, or at least understand those who are spiritually aligned, just like to talk shit about it because they have no spirit, they have no soul. And I'm gonna just say it like that. You got nothing to you. You got an echo in your head, basically. And I hate that the black girl, blonde braids, she I know her energy was probably depleted, honestly. I'm gonna defend her. I know her energy was definitely probably depleted when it came to, even, she knew whatever she said, I this is how I do it. She knew that whatever she would say in this podcast would either get misconstrued or just completely flipped around and bad faith and all that stuff. Because if she was to say nobody's trying to be a victim when it comes to talking about the disparities and the missed opportunities, the opportunities that are not given to black or people of color, it's not trying to be a victim when it is talked about. It's just saying the truth. And her language when she says, oh, in this white America, and it's going to get seen as simply some woke bullshit. Let's just keep it up. It's going to get seen as some woke bullshit. And it does sound like that. It sounds like bullshit. Don't say it like that. This is why I say, when you go to these spaces, you have to be smart. But you know what? That probably wasn't her goal. It's not her responsibility. She got seen for music that she's going to be putting out whenever she puts it out. And that was her goal. And I applaud her for that. And she did what she had to do. I just don't agree with that. And it just further fuels their. Now, I don't agree with the, hey, we need to clean our image so we're not made as are not part of a statistic. But when it comes to this podcast, you got to play the game. And it only furthered their viewers' perception of the shit. Like, oh, this is proof right here. And I hate that. I hate that for not just her, but for those of us who are trying to get young men away from these types of podcasts. It's so detrimental to the community. It's so detrimental to the world. Let's put it out there. When I looked at these clips, the views were at like 11,000, and that may not seem like a lot to you, but think about the views collectively. There's 11,000 that are live, and then how many other more thousand that see it when it gets posted on the YouTube channel, and then more thousands when it gets posted around on Twitter, on TikTok, collectively it could have over some few million views. So unfortunately for everyone, we now have to deal with this influx of trying to, change stuff, and we just get taken back because of little situations like these. Now I will put screenshots from, damn, I didn't send them to myself, did I? No. Now, I feel like what further proved her point when she felt that energy from Myron and them, even it's a shame that even without watching their podcast ever in her life, apparently she still knew what type of timing they were on. Myron makes everyone feel so comfortable being racist towards black people, towards black women, towards everybody. And they wanted to say, oh, our chat makes fun of us too. And then they don't make fun of you as much as they make fun of and be racist to everyone else that are not y'all. Stop being obtuse. They don't like women. The women y'all put on there are spineless and brain dead as fuck, when there's so much a bigger percentage of women that are way better for you to choose from. But y'all won't put a bitch like me on there. Y'all will not put a woman like me on there ever. Y'all can't take me. You will not be able to take me. I'm calculated. I try to be calculated what I say. And even when I miscalculate, I'm still calculated. They do not put more than one woman like me on there because they know it happens. A lot of the clips and a lot of the videos I sat and watched through, women like me on there, because we talk and are not quiet about the bullshit you want to say, everyone else, we just look like the odd one out. We just look like the one that wants to cause trouble, the one that's stupid, the one that's just woke crowd and this and that. It's like y'all are saying stupid shit and you're further perpetuating the racism towards everybody. I don't fuck with that. That is so fucked up to me. That is really fucked up to me. Y'all put on these spineless, brain dead ass women on this podcast out of the million smart ass women that can tell you about yourself. I see the game. And not to even talk shit about the woman, the actual sex workers that they do get on those podcasts. They know the life they join, and I applaud them for being honest about the life they join. And they're honest. They are very honest about knowing that they may not get a husband or they may not have a traditional family lifestyle and things like that. Those women that are the whores and things like that, I applaud them. You know why? Because they're authentically themselves and they're not lying to themselves about what may or may not become of their lives. I'm not mad at them per se. I'm mad at the fact that these men know what it's going to look like and what it is. And they profit off that. And they're probably profiting off of me right now. But I don't negate that at all. I don't negate that at all. For those of you who like a yap session, this is going to be a yap session for sure. I will show some clips. But honestly, I'm just, But I'm going to go to where I saw this in the first place, which was on X. Whatever. I am on Blue Sky, don't get me wrong, but I do keep X because of this thing right here, because this is where I go to grab that negativity that I keep telling people about and show the world what it is. And I will put screenshots of these people's comments. Okay. Let me find Myron's though. Let me start here. So of course the video went viral. Where is his at though? Of course the video went viral, and Asian Doll ended up quote tweeting the video, because the blonde braids girl, when she was recording her video, she was like, I just remembered this is the guy that got into it with Asian Doll. I don't know if y'all remember that, but him and Asian Doll got into it because Asian was just like, if I remember correctly, was just like, why are you talking like to people like that, basically, is what I remember. And Asian Doll should have played that, feel how you want to feel about Asian Doll, whether she's a clout chaser or whatever you want to feel, but like, you don't talk to people like that, bro. This is your podcast, but basic respect. That's just what it is. Basic respect. So she retweeted the video, and she was like, oh, the blonde braids girl ended up fighting two of the girls that I guess were kind of like security. I will say, to the girl in the black sweater dress, I feel like she really was not causing trouble. That's why she was able to ride in the elevator with the blonde braids girl. But
I wasn't trying to hit you.
Listen, I didn't hit you at all, though. Listen.
No, it's fine.
I got it. I'm cool, Chris.
You sure?
I got it.
Hey, trust me.
that's why she was able to ride in the elevator with her, because she really didn't want any issues. She was the first one actually over there between her and Myron when they both stood up. So kudos to her. I don't know how much affiliated she really is with the dudes, but If you rocking with them in a certain way, then I don't know. I don't know how much credit I can give you. But Asian Doll was like, and she beat both of the girls' ass. Well done, my Dallas, Texas queen. The fuck? Because she already don't like Myron. So anybody affiliated, I'm sure, whatever. So he replied, isn't your bum ass still selling pussy? Shut the fuck up, you watermelon and weave warrior hoe. Now, tell me, right now, look me in my digital face and tell me that the blonde braids girl was not accurate about the type of energy that was possibly in this room. One, she was the darkest woman in the room, and say whatever the fuck you want about colorism, but there is a prejudice, there is a preconceived notion in our brains, socially, psychologically. That's what it is. That's why you take the time to actively work against your preconceived notions or what you were raised with or what you were conditioned with. Okay? These comments are not further proving like his audience is full of a mixed bag of guys, but definitely white guys just looking for just a safe place to spout their racism and their prejudiceness and all of this. One of them, black dude, was like, I watched the full podcast. You ain't doing no wrong. Someone says it hit different when you actually watch the podcast. Dumb people will never know the truth. They don't want to know. Regardless of whatever truth you think you're truthing, the energy was already off with this girl. It was already off. She wasn't dressed like your basic average woman that's usually on that podcast. She dressed like a lot of Erykah Badu types. You know, the other black girls and the white girls were just very basic. And there's nothing wrong with dressing basic, but that's just number one for me. She was definitely not dressed like them other bitches. 2, they said she stinks and she stinks so bad. And she was like, I smoke weed. You're smelling weed. Oh, weed shouldn't smell like onions and da 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 da. And I honestly feel like that's racism number 2. Let's be for real. The African stink thing was definitely a part of that shit. I don't care what grasping at straws you think I'm doing. That military girl, on top of being Republican, she is racist, bruh. She's hanging around these niggas that already applaud the racism, that already they agree with the racism. So what makes you think this white girl isn't comfortable with being just as racist, just more covert? This is what people get misconstrued. Because it's not in their face, they think, oh, they just want to be victims. They're just screaming racism because they just want to be victims. I don't want to be a fucking victim. I may not agree with the way Blonde Braids handled the situation, but I don't think she was wrong at all about the energy she felt. And they had a problem with her saying black man, white girl. And it's like, all right, feel that's racist if you want to, but as much as I hate labels and wish this race shit didn't exist, it does. And there is a different way that white people are raised and black people are raised. There is a different world that we see. All of us see a different world. Abled people, disabled people, white, Asian, we all have a different version of the world we see. And we all have different things that work against us and against the American dream we try to strive for. This isn't to say I want everybody to stay a victim and cry and just get everything handed to them. I don't want that at all. I fully believe I can get where I want to get. But I know that it may or may not come with more hardships because of my skin color. It doesn't mean I'm going to give up. It doesn't mean I'm playing victim. I acknowledge it for what it is. And I keep pushing and I keep going. But don't sit here and look me in my face and tell me that my skin color has no bar or no effect on how I get to where I get to or how long it takes for me to get to where I want to get to. And another thing that I disagreed with, and hopefully I find this clip and edit it, another thing I disagreed with is that they really sat in this girl's face and told her, and she agreed with that. When Myron said, you know, we're not going to play victimhood because of race, and she was like, of course, I'm not saying that I can't get to where I get to because of my race. I'm going to get to where I want to get to. But we're not going to, and she just couldn't say it because her energy was already where it was. I know she feels like, yes, exactly what I'm saying right now. Yes, I'm not going to play victim, but we're not going to sit here and ignore this as if this never happened. As if, you know, and then they tried to say, now black woman and everything have it easier now more than ever. Are you kidding me? Kamala just lost. Kamala lost. Maybe she did get supported because she was a woman. No shit. On top of her policies aren't Trump's policies. They are not Trump's policies. They're not Trump's plans. First of all, as we speak, he's currently picking the most brain dead motherfuckers to be in his cabinet and all this other. And you want to talk about competence? This man has never even been in politics until he became president the first time. He was just a businessman that don't run a business. What are we talking about? And then Myron went to say, and then he brought up the 2020 election being rigged, and he tried to slide that comment in there, and we moved past that. And then he said, it's probably even easier now because of diversity. And then Military Girl was sucking his nuts, saying, yeah, whatever the fuck she was saying. I don't care. I know what she said, but I don't care. And to call her Kamala incompetent, you can disagree with whatever, how she went about it, her word salad, or whatever the fuck else. But are we forgetting that she wasn't even running a campaign the whole time? They cut the Biden campaign in the middle and then just put her in there. Did not even give her a fair freaking chance at all. Because she can't speak how y'all want her to speak, she just incompetent, as if she hasn't been in politics for how long? This lady's like 50. She's been in politics way longer than Donald Trump has, and you want to call her incompetent? She's currently the vice president, and you want to call her incompetent? Let's call everybody incompetent in that case. Donald Trump is incompetent. You think he's more competent than her, who's been in politics for how long and went to school for this shit? Please stop. Let's use our brains and let's be realistic. I don't care how you feel about the government. Let's just be realistic about the fact that we don't value education in this country anymore. This man has no education, and you value him more than the person who got the education, the person that's been in Senate and been in this and currently the vice president. Are you serious? Fuck how you feel, because now you're putting your feelings into it because she don't speak how you want her to speak. Tangent, but I don't get that incompetency line because he's also incompetent. You get me? Okay, if we want to do that, let's call both of these niggas incompetent. Thank you. Let's do that. So that whole the diversity, it makes it so the DEI thing was to close the gap in between the lack of diversity. There's so many brilliant brains in all types of sorts of people. The more people you include, the better our society. You get me? The more our advances come quicker because we're including more women, we're including men. And I'm going to read about it later, but I heard and I read, okay, that white woman benefited more from DEI than anybody else. But we'll get to that another time. And that may not be the biggest problem because it's more women in certain spaces that women were not in. But let's stop acting like DEI is just, let's cuddle to the rope crowd. Let's just remove all the white people. No, we need diversity. You just want just white men minds just controlling everything or making all the decisions or making all the it's so many discoveries and things that have happened because more people of diverse places were involved. That is just basic shit. That is basic shit. It has nothing. And to call anybody in a high position, why are people not thinking? This whole Myron thing just turned into a whole thing. Why are people not thinking when it comes to the DEI stuff? You think that people in higher positions are going to, people that are part of the higher positions, you think they're going to hire people that don't have the credentials just because they're black? You think they're just going to put people in a position that you need the education for because they're black? They just can't possibly have the education because it's diversity, equity, and inclusion. Let's just put anyone black in let's put cons and ex-cons and all this sorts of, just because. No, you still have to have the credentials. The whole point is picking more diverse people with the credentials. Why are we ignoring this? Why are we ignoring this? Y'all are some idiots. That's what it really is. Idiots. A bunch of you. All of you. Every single one of y'all. Who, child? Woo, Chile. Yeah. I hate it here. Why are we not using our brains? Turn it on! Turn it on! I just hated that whole segment, and then it got bypassed because Blonde Braids didn't have the energy to go back and forth with these motherfuckers. Back to the Twitter comments under Myron. We got comments like, cook that watermelon warrior. LOL, Myron got no chill by Mr. Charlie Torres sucking mad dick. Jew Soap says she's 67 IQ and a failed music artist. Music is the only things blacks are good at. You let people say this, Mr. Myron. You let people say this about your people that you're so-called a part of. Are you fucking serious? So many smart black people, so many artistic black people that paint, that make morals, that do all sorts of smart scientists, all sorts of, we got black people everywhere that are into all sorts of stuff. And you let people say this about your people, about your mother? I feel bad for her. And if she's of the same mindset as you, I feel bad for everybody around y'all. Because y'all are idiots. And you let people talk about your people in this way. We can talk about our people, but it's how we talk about our people. Do you get me? I don't like the violence either. There's something to be talked about there. But if you're going to handle that with so much less grace, it's not going to get handled. You're just going to make them feel even more violent. You know why? Because you're not handling it with compassion. You know where this come from. Or maybe you don't know the history. Maybe you don't know where it comes from. You don't know how it happened. History is there for a reason. We read about history for a reason. We know exactly why this violence has come and has stayed. We know. That's a whole history that niggas don't feel like getting into, but they think we use it as an excuse. No, you have to know where shit comes from in order for you to deal with the now of the shit. Do you get me? Continue Mr. Jew Soap comment. How else do you think she's going to make money? She's got no choice but to sell pussy to survive. Again, you let people talk about black women this way. I may be hyped right now because it's my shit. And I'm just here in my room talking my shit. But don't let me get on that podcast, bro. Don't let me get on that podcast. I protect my energy. I know I go home to what? Love. And I'm not going there by my damn self either. If I ever get invited to a podcast like that. And I don't even need to be nigga deep. I got my man and I got my best friend. Both of us, all of us are of average heights. I'm not coming there to scare nobody. But best believe, you want to get loud with me, they're not going to let you get loud with me. And they're not going to let you misconstrue what the fuck I got to say. Okay? So, I'm up for the challenge. I'm not paying for my way there, though. And I'm not paying for my way back. That's just that. If we really want to cook some shit up, you want to go viral, you want to cook some shit up, you want to talk, we actually want to have a discussion, invite me in. Let's go. I'm ready. I'm really ready. Because y'all are some idiots, bro. Matter of fact, invite Destiny, too. I want to see him. I want him to come on. I want some of his insight. Yeah. Matter of fact, oh yeah, bring Hunter Avalon too. Invite him. Let him come. Come on. Let's do it. No, for real. Let's do that. I'm really on that. I'm really on that. I love to talk. I'm a yapper, professional yapper, and I'm yapping. And I know when to be quiet. I can be smart. I can play the game. But y'all don't want a bitch like me on there. Never did and never will. I know how to play the game. And for the future, if this really do start cooking up for the future and y'all see this shit, yeah, I'm a mad black woman. Yeah, I'm on bullshit. I am mad. You know why I'm mad? Because everybody's some fucking dumbasses. Everyone's a dummy. I don't want to play no victim, bitch. I'm the winner. I win in life, even when I don't win. It's a mindset thing with me over here. I'm spiritually aligned. I'm mindfully aligned. I'm mentally aligned. I can have ADHD and all sorts of shit, but I'm here. I'm here. I've been raised by a strong ass woman and a strong ass man. The fuck is you talking about? Y'all are weak. Y'all are all fucking weak. You let people talk about your people and just other human beings in general like they pieces of shit, like they trash, like they got nothing to their life but this shit. Fuck is you talking about? Play with me if you want to. Play with people if you want to. You let people talk about your people like this. That's crazy. I was originally going to scrap this video because more came out about the girl. Like, I'm so not sure of what side she even stands on, because she wanted to talk about like white America and all this racism and colorism shit. But then her old tweets is like, when niggas be like, you black, I'm gonna start saying nigga, I'm not even half black. And another tweet on the left, if you want to read, I really hate black people. This is why most of my friends are white, and I'm going to marry a white man. I'm the female Uncle Ruckus. Another one, only thing I like black is my clothes, some of my friends, and sometimes my hair. And then another one, I be trying my hardest to talk to / date black men, but I just can't, just don't sit well with me. And her video that she posted before she went on Fresh and Fit, which is on the right side of the screen, someone quote tweeted it, but she says, this was moments before the BS, the hate some black men have for a natural black woman is ridiculous. I'm truly 101. And then the girl says, why are you blaming black men? You the one took your goofy ass on that show. Everybody know that motherfucker don't like black women. And I'm just very confused with her stances. Like, I know you can be for like, or be social justice, like cognizant and all this other stuff, and still be like anti-black and stuff, but it's just very just weird. But it just further, like, she really just I just don't now I feel like now with all of this coming out, she was just grifting in a way. Like, she really doesn't care about that stuff. She just wanted to make a fool of herself now at this point. So like I said, I was originally going to scrap this video, but I feel like what I had to say need to be said for my channel in general, especially towards Fresh and Fit and everything. I still feel the way I feel about everything else I said. Anything I said about her and her behavior, I still feel that way, just looking at it from a genuine standpoint. She definitely was not the person for that conversation at all. But yeah, y'all, follow me on Blue Sky. You guys have a great day, I guess. This was just it was just a roller coaster. But yeah, I'm glad I didn't remember her name, but now you guys have her Twitter, so do whatever you want with that. So yeah, bye.